Alright, everybody. He's got a hat. He's got a beard. Please welcome to the stage, Woolly Creeper. Heyo.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm alright, mate, and yourself?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Glad we could have you on the show. I've been looking forward to this one for quite some time.
I know, and I kept putting you off.
I know, you're a difficult man to get hold of, is what it is. Being all
I am
famous
busy.
and,
Famous.
rolling in those YouTube millions.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a sports car and everything.
You just imagine it's like you get up in the morning, you upload whatever random stuff you did the night, and then you go driving around in your sports car.
Yep, that's my day. You
that's
just
it.
described my day. The hardest thing I choose every day is it the R8? Is it the Jag? Well, the life of a YouTube millionaire is a hard one.
I can imagine it must be tough. Wow. I can't imagine what it must be like. As a hard-working schlub. No idea.
Yes.
Oh, man. So, let's get into it. The first thing I want to ask about is the name. Because you don't really look like a creeper. Though I can understand where the woolly came from.
Well, so, yeah. I was on... I had a YouTube account previous to this one, but it was basically... for a place to put videos of my baby, who was a baby at the time, and also kendo videos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so because I practice and teach kendo.
Oh, nice.
And I thought, well, I wanted to do a YouTube video for Minecraft, but I didn't particularly want it to be on the same account as all that sort of stuff. So I needed a new account. And back at that sort of time, if you'd go on like Reddit and stuff, half the stuff that people seem to be building, or if you image searched for Minecraft, would be giant creepers made out of wool.
Yeah, okay, I know the period you're talking about.
Yeah, it just seemed to be a natural thing to call myself a woolly creeper, because it was these giant, ridiculous creepers that people seemed so keen on building. And it was just a name that came to me. I do believe I did an image search on Minecraft, and I scrolled through, and there was just loads of them, and I just thought,
perfect.
Another woolly creeper. Oh yeah, there you go, done. Job done. Time to go to the pub.
There we go. Yeah, that's it. You're set for life now.
Yes.
Yeah, because I remember that's like late 2011, sort of early 2012, when that was the thing to build giant Minecraft creatures out of wool.
Yeah,
because you couldn't do much else really.
No, not really.
But you had a different start to your YouTube career than other people did. Now we're talking back in March 2012, so just over 2 years ago now.
Wow.
Yeah. You've been going a long time now, and you started out on tutorials.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Well, originally the whole point to the account and getting into doing videos was I had an idea and I wanted to share it. And I'd kind of gotten into YouTube as a thing, watching Minecraft on YouTube through watching Sean Static, 777 Static.
Oh, yes,
yeah. And I believe, I guess I must have watched a couple of videos or tutorials first, and then I kind of got on to watching his tutorials, and I was watching his LP, and I thought, I tell you what, I'll make a video. So I dug through my drawers and pulled out some horrid, scraggy little Microsoft Live mic that I had tucked away somewhere, and got I think I just sprung for a copy of Fraps straight off the bat and got on. And the idea was because at the time the AI for moving cave spiders around had just changed, and I'd come up with a few a way that was pretty decent in moving it. I think it's all changed again since then, but I built a few examples, built a big sign that said Woolly Creeper.
Yes.
And stood in front of, sat in front of my computer and said something along the lines of, "Hello guys, this is Woolly Creeper. I've got an idea." And I went back and watched that maybe about a year ago, 6 months, a year ago, and it's a terrible, terrible video. It's half an hour, and I'm just like, oh my God, has anyone ever got to the end of this video?
I can tell you I have. I did watch it all.
The idea works, but the quality difference is stunning, really.
So we all really start out that way. It starts out really badly.
Yes. Yeah, you don't know what to say. The whole feeling of sitting and just talking at your computer it's just weird. Let's face it.
You sit down
and you feel so self-conscious, and but that was how it started. And then I thought, I had an idea. I built I think, was it my chicken farm? The second video. I can't remember now.
The Blaze Conveyor.
Oh, the Blaze Conveyor. Yes,
alternative to Etho.
Etho was having such difficulties, and I came up with a contraption that moved the blazers in a different way, and so I did that in the kind of thoughts that I kind of hoped that Etho would see it, and not even Etho would see it and rocket my channel into the stratosphere, which is kind of what I think a lot of YouTubers hoped. But just that he would see it and find it useful. I don't know if he ever did see it or not. He was kind of at the point there where it wasn't realistic for him to be going through video responses and accepting them. So he must have been getting hundreds of video responses every episode. So I don't know if he ever did see it. He never used it. And then I built a chicken farm in my survival world, my own survival world that I was playing at the time, and I thought, let's carry on. So I did the chicken farm. And then I had the boat elevator, the space elevator.
Space elevator, yep. And then the record maker.
Yes, because that one was another one. The space elevator came out of messing around with wireless redstone in creative.
Oh yeah.
The record, yeah. And Sean Static actually accepted that as a video response to his wireless redstone video, which was awesome.
Oh, nice.
And then the record maker was actually something I'd come up with in survival. I think I'd actually built it. Was it the same world, or had I moved on to a world, or was the previous world? I can't remember. It was a different world to the chicken farm. But I'd actually come up with that in survival. It'd just been a thing there. And I built it again, actually, similarly in my Let's Play months and months later.
Oh, right. Yes. Yes.
It was a really good system, right up until fence gates underwater stopped working. Not fence gates, fence posts.
Fence posts, yeah.
Yeah, you used to be able to drop mobs onto fence posts, and even if there was water over the top, they'd take the damage. And when that stopped working, that farm stopped working. But which is kind of
it's the nature of Minecraft, really.
Yeah, the curse of the tutorialer is half stuff you ever put a video together on is going to not work someday.
But you did those first 5, and then you took a break from tutorials to start something else, which was the wonderful world of Woolly.
Yes. The wonderful world of Woolly.
And that has had a hell of a run.
I know. What did we get to? 74 episodes or something?
75, I believe.
75.
Yeah.
Wow.
In fact, it's like over a third of your actual released videos is the wonderful world of Woolly.
I know. That thing the world just I had things that I wanted to do, and I did them. Lots of stuff, and mm-hmm. although I played Minecraft for quite a while, the thing about making videos is it encouraged me to really stick at a world. I was the sort of guy who would start a world, do some stuff, get some basics, kind of get dissatisfied with something about the world. Generally, like not having like a quadruple spawner or something.
I can't exploit this enough. Start again.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'd abandon it and start a new one. I wouldn't be happy with buildings, and I'd abandon it and start a new one. And then I didn't really feel like I could do that anymore when I was LPing the world. So I stuck at it, and it's really that I think is when you stick at a world or a map or something, that's when things really start to come together. Over time it builds up, and you end up with something. I've got a very fond place in my heart for the Wonderful World of Wooly and that world.
It was a very very good series because it had a lot of great build up all throughout.
Yeah, I definitely, I always tried to do, it's something I've relaxed on myself, sort of relaxed a little bit in like the recent times, because it can become quite a burden. But I always tried to make sure I built something, a building, a device, like tried to actually come out with a product at the end of the video. And tried to make it original. I always tried to put my own slant on things, and try not to repeat other people's work, to the point where really when difficult. Really difficult, to the point where when I built my iron golem farm, the actual working part of it was never shown on camera. I just built, because there's a tutorial from DocM, it's been built hundreds of times, so I just did the technical part of it, apart from the bits where I would customize it to myself, like the killing chamber and things like that. But the actual spawning platforms I just did off camera, and then came back in to do the aesthetic build around that technical part in the episode. So it was like one day, oh look, Golem Farm.
Hey look, it works. It's magical.
So yeah, I did try to do things in my own way. So I got a lot of unique builds in there, and a lot of builds that aren't really maybe as good as other people's. But I managed to get quite a bit done in that world.
It was very nice to see how your building style in particular evolved over the course of the series.
Yeah, definitely. I've never been. I wouldn't consider myself to be like the greatest builder out there, but certainly a marked improvement from the beginning to as I moved on towards as that series was drawing to a close. I think my building skills in building have improved.
Well, we'd hope if you keep it something long enough, it gets better.
Yes, yeah. Well, sometimes it doesn't, but I do seem to have I hit on what I would say one good, really, really good design, which I've then exploited mercilessly ever since, which was starting with the look of the Iron Golem farm, which became my ice tower on the first Hypermine map. Was not, it didn't look like that, but it was the diagonal lines and stuff, and
it was a similar type of build.
Yeah, and then that moved on to was the next thing I would think would probably be my Wizard's Tower. And then obviously what's become dubbed Space Needle in Hickory Springs on the vanilla map.
That is almost a copy of one that you did on Wonderful World. Not quite, but it's pretty close.
It's just such a lovely look. I really like that. I just can't help but bring it back when I can, with a little tweak here, a little tweak there, big fat body with the diagonal lines on in some cases, or a disc instead of holding a disc with a house in rather than the iron farm, as I've done in Hickory Springs. But diagonals, I really like diagonals. I like building in diagonals. I discovered that when I built my bulk storage room back in Wonderful World of Woolly, and I did these diagonal ceiling kind of supports, and I just thought, just looks so much deeper, and because you've got that kind of the diagonal line, because it's all made out of blocks, it just gives it a texture naturally, because it's not you've got no continuous straight lines.
Which is a really difficult thing in Minecraft to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is why I kind of try to build with like the land when I'm not out and out just going for a diagonal thing. I try to follow landscapes, and if it's squares, I try to kind of have lots of square shapes that are kind of not all perfectly aligned, to just break it up a little bit.
So that really explains the asymmetrical style of your current builds.
Yes. yeah, definitely.
Because your base is kind of hellish to walk around.
Tell you, one thing that I miss about my old base in the single player is the flow. You had loads of paths going, loads of directions, and you just run around, and there were loads of ways to get to the different parts of the base, and I'm kind of starting to, I'm kind of trying to recreate that a little bit. It's not quite got it on the current base, but
a little bit more work, I think.
Yeah.
But you had a lot more space to work with in your old base.
Yes.
It was way more spread out.
The top of the hill is a little bit constrained, I'll be honest. I always choose hilltops. I don't know why. I just like.
You just want to be above everyone else. It's
definitely.
That's it, lording it over the rest of us.
Want my natural superiority to shine through.
On your throne, cup of tea in your hand.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, there was this weird blip in between your Wonderful World of Woolly series. And it didn't last very long, but it was Diamonds in the Rough.
Oh yes, Diamonds in the Rough, which kind of overlapped. It
didn't last very long at all.
No. Diamonds in the Rough. So yeah, that was a server that I was invited onto, and basically, I mean, firstly, I didn't quite kind of get the. Not get, I understood what multiplayer was about, but I found it strange and confusing. What are these people doing here?
God!
Do some recording. And I like to nip on and off servers. I like to nip in and out of Minecraft sometimes, just do a few things and go, and not get caught up in a conversation. So on one hand, I wasn't massively comfortable at that time with the multiplayer thing. On the other hand, the server became more and more quiet over time. I think the guy who ran it is not actually doing videos anymore. Or if he has, then I've not.
I have to admit, I can't really find many videos from many of the people that were on the list there.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing with YouTube. A lot of smaller channels do kind of peter away and get disheartened.
Yeah, because it's a hell of a grind.
Exactly. And so I think that kind of played a factor with that server. I did have fun on there. I'm still in Twitter contact with a few of the people, and I think a couple of them are even in my Skype contact still. But I did have fun on there, and I kind of missed it when it went. I felt like a missed opportunity. Basically, had been missed. I felt like I'd missed an opportunity there, and I thought, next time I would make a better go of it. Next time, there was an opportunity to be on a server, I would make a better go of it, which I,
you did. You have.
Hypermine, I've really tried to fling myself at it, to the point when the vanilla server came on. That's it. I stopped the Wonderful World to concentrate on doing vanilla on
Hypermine. Wow. Which is a big change. I mean, most people don't actually give up on their single player worlds. I know. That's a heck of a thing you've done there.
It's a question of time, basically. If I were to give Hypermine my full, give it a full chance, I had to give up the single player world because one or the other would have been neglected, or more likely both. Basically.
Right. Yeah.
Plus, one of the things, and this is one of the things with the Diamonds and the Rough period, I was trying to do 2 vanilla series, and I found it a bit kind of stressful to try and think of different vanilla things to try not to have my series just overlap.
Yes.
You could watch one or the other, and you're going to get basically the same content. So, I'm trying to do things I'd already done, but in a completely different way, and or trying to think of other things to do. And I guess there's a lot you can do in Minecraft, but I felt when the vanilla map the Hypermine vanilla came about, that let's just
make a proper go of it, and we'll see how it goes.
Exactly. Unfortunately, it's been really the longevity of the server's been really good.
It's been surprising. We've had our lulls.
We have. But people do keep coming back to vanilla. As much as we're originally a modded server, people can't seem to stay away from vanilla. For maybe about half of our truly active members always, they'll go away, but they will come back. There's just something about vanilla you can't. For my money, anyway, you can't fully replace with a modded series. Modded series are nice, but
I suppose it's easy to feel that you've done everything in vanilla,
and
then you go away to modded or an adventure map or something, and then you get that itch again.
Yeah.
To build something out of cobble.
to hide in a hole.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just something about, and I've tried to find other games that are kind of like Minecraft, but maybe with modern graphics, or not quite so blocky, but it's still kind of blocky, so you can kind of build.
The voxel type map.
The voxel type. There's a lot of them out there. It's voxel type, but it's all terrain smooth. So it's blocks underneath, but it all looks smooth on the top. Yeah. None of them really. You get in there, and it doesn't feel right. It doesn't.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, something's off. Issue with Rust there, where it wasn't quite the same. You didn't get the same feeling out of it.
Yeah.
It's a difficult thing to replicate, because Minecraft actually does it really well. For all its just basic blockiness, it is a pure sandbox experience.
I do think that its basic blockiness is one of the reasons that Minecraft works. And also, everything is quite tight and precise. You don't have motion blur and Fong shading all over the place. It's simplicity itself, basically, and you can do a lot with simplicity.
Oh yeah, as YouTube has shown. Jeez.
Yes, yeah. Plus Redstone. Whoever came up with the mechanics of Redstone, although we can all have a good old whinge about Redstone and the way it works, and the way it doesn't work, and its inconsistencies. Those basic core concepts.
It is. I tried to explain it to somebody once, because it's on off, and then signal degrades over time, over distance, and that's it. Yeah. There's nothing else special about it.
That is pretty much it. I mean, even repeaters are like I remember when, because I'm pre-repeaters. I remember building repeaters out of 2 blocks, 2 blocks, 2 torches, and some redstone, and that's how you'd build a repeater. It'd be like something like 4 blocks long or something, and I'm trying to remember now. No, so it'd be 2 blocks together, torch on top of the block. Yep. Redstone next to the torch, and a torch on the side of the end block, and that was a repeater. And then Mojang basically just, we'll do that in 1 block.
Yeah, but the funny thing is that they basically copied exactly what people were doing anyway.
Yes.
Just stone, torches, and a single redstone.
Yeah, absolutely. It was almost, the crafting recipe of that is almost like a kind of a tribute to whoever first thought, oh, well, if I do that, then I can extend my signal length. And, well, you know, people phone buzzing. People give Mojang a lot of flack for basically, you know, that's ripped off that guy, that's from a mod, that's, you know, but they do, I think overall they do move in the right direction. And I know that puts me in somewhat of a minority. I guess my feelings are amplified by the vehemence of the opposing party.
Yes. No names mentioned.
No names mentioned, but people can get their pants in a big twist over Mojang and the things they do to the game. And so you know, I can get annoyed by it as well, but yeah, I mean, they do keep adding, like slime blocks are amazing. The new biome generation from the previous update is fantastic, and I don't really care if it's just Biomes XL or Biomes Aplenty put into vanilla. It's great.
yeah. As long as they keep expanding vanilla, they will have essentially a fresh game.
And I can't think of any game beyond subscription MMOs that used to suck my life away where they would continue to develop the game in the way the Mojang have. It's certainly kept the game. It keeps you coming back to it.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
Now you've had a couple of other things. You've tried out various things on your channel.
Yeah, I've tried to branch out a few times. You
did Jedi Knight.
Oh, it's one of my favorite FPS games.
And I'm really sad that you didn't continue it.
Do you know what that is? That is partly was because it was not getting views, but it was also partly because at that time I was still not super confident in myself. I mean, you as you'll know, I don't do a lot of episodes where I just walk around and talk.
Yes.
Even today, and I'm trying to do it now a little bit more. Throw one in every so often, a more talky episode. I mean, you know, channel a bit of the slip. Although I can never quite get that kind of
that is very difficult.
Kind of high speed. I'm talking all the time. Oh my, this is amazing, and everything's all going around the place, and there's stuff and things. I just can't do it. But I am a bit better than I was. It was also slightly technical. It was problems.
All right.
That game would not run in full screen, and Fraps would not recognize the window. So every single episode had to be custom cropped to the size of the game. Yeah. Because it's an old game, and if Fraps would recognize the window, would be fantastic. I would be tempted to go back and have another go. Maybe if I can ever get DxTory to work properly on my computer. Well, maybe my next computer if I get a new one. Then I could do it, because I'm pretty certain you can set like bounding boxes in DxTory for when it won't recognize the window. But then it's one that I've done and then kind of abandoned. So do I start again, or do I take off? Or so like from where I left off?
You'd have to start again. It's been too long.
Yeah. Or maybe I could do Jedi Knight 2 or Dark Forces 3 Jedi Knight 2.
Yes.
Which was also a great game. Didn't have quite the kind of cultural impact for me. And games Dark Forces was the first game that I believe was the first game to feature multi-leveled environments, although they cheated outrageously by basically having multiple levels be separate game levels that silently loaded while you were going upstairs or stuff.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, yeah. And Jedi Knight, I'm just going to struggle to come up with examples now, but Jedi Knight had, it was another raft of kind of revolutions for FPS gaming. I think it was one of the very, if not, I don't think it was the first, but it was very early in when it was actually 3D. And you could look up and down to a certain extent.
Yeah, you actually, your model had feet.
Yes, your model had feet.
It was an innovation at the time. Massive innovation.
Where are my feet? But absolutely. And the melee combat was pretty good for its time. They really took it to another level with Jedi Knight 2, of course, which was a lot more jumpy, spinny. Choose your flavor of light, heavy, medium attack, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, it was probably one of the first games that featured light, heavy, medium attacks. Or did they do that in the first one? No, they did that in Jedi Knight. They did that in Jedi Knight. Light, heavy, medium. I'm sure they did. Later on in the game. I might be wrong about that, but I think they did it in the first one. They definitely had it in the second one.
Yeah, I know for sure they had it in the second.
Yeah. You see, I'm a massive, massive, massive Star Wars geek. So I lapped up all of that stuff. Chance to run around hacking things up with a lightsaber.
Oh, yeah.
Count me in.
Yeah, no hesitation.
Absolutely. And Jedi Knight was one of the last games, well, not the last, but it was really at the tail end of full motion video in games, which I miss personally.
Oh, yes.
Everyone lambasts it, but I miss it.
No, it's awesome. Did you ever play Wing Commander?
I never got into Wing Commander. I was playing TIE Fighter in one. My uncle had Wing Commander, actually.
In Wing Commander 4, Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah. I love that stuff. That was amazing. Full motion video with choices.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Did you ever see the Wing Commander film?
No, I avoided it on purpose.
I watched it on Netflix not long ago, and oh my goodness, how can they have? I mean, it's got Poirot in, for goodness sake.
Oh my goodness,
it's got Poirot in, and it still sucks a big one. It really. Oh my!
And I'm so glad that I missed it. Because
I have an affinity. Another thing is I'm a massive sci-fi fan, full stop, and I have an affinity for bad sci-fi. Something sticks with me. I can watch bad sci-fi. It's great.
I love bad sci-fi, but I hate ruining franchises that I actually love by watching a bad movie about it.
Phantom Menace.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
or the Doom movie.
The Doom movie I avoided.
Oh, you're so lucky.
Doom 2, I think, was probably one of the... Well, no, actually, nowhere near the first game I played. The first game I played was probably something with a light gun on the Spectrum 128A.
Oh, wow.
Like the 6-game light gun pack.
Yeah,
light gun,
right.
baby. When are they going to make a comeback into gaming? Light guns.
It would be amazing. There we go. It's an Xbox item. Come on, bring it. Bring it.
Yeah.
And for me,
Operation Wolf. Ultimate
Operation
light
Wolf.
game
wow.
ever.
Jeez. We're going back quite some time.
Yeah.
Because my first game was Gauntlet.
Oh, Gauntlet. Yeah. That was
way back now. That was on our ZX Spectrum.
Yeah, that was a Speccy and Commodore Classic. That
yep.
Commodore, the other platform it was on.
Yes, Commodore 64.
Yeah, there were two types of houses, weren't there? Yep. There were the Commodore houses and the Speccy houses, and
I was a Speccy.
Yes, me too. Me too. I mean, what other gaming system or computer system allowed you the pleasure of listening to your game load into memory?
I was so pleased that when we got a modem that they decided to actually steal that noise.
I remember the first time I heard a dial-up modem, and I thought, it's the sound of data. That's what data sounds like if it had a voice, and it does.
It is exactly that.
And I was like, oh man, I remember sitting under the stairs at my mate's house, and he had some 186 or whatever it was.
Oh man!
And getting onto the internet, which was precisely 3 pages, and one of them was a Pantera page. It was like the first time when it moved on from peer-to-peer bulletin boards and things like that, actually hosted on people's PCs, to web pages, probably mostly still hosted on people's PCs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Load up Netscape Navigator.
Oh my god! Wow.
Oh, back in the day.
Yeah, geez.
When I were kids, when we were kids, we didn't have none of this Chrome nonsense. Oh man!
Oh yeah. Now I just feel old.
But yeah, Spectrum Light Gun. That was where it's. I probably played some stuff on my dad's old. I think he got it out of his mum's loft or something, like one of those old Atari gaming systems.
Oh, the really, really ancient ones.
Yeah, the joystick with the button on the base.
Yep.
But no, then we got a Spectrum, light guns, Batman the movie game.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
of course. That seems to have latched onto this fact that Batman the movie was my favourite film ever.
Well, it must be.
I think it's a much better film than people give it credit for, and it was also. I mean, I remember being young enough to collect the cards, because they had trading cards, like collector's cards.
Oh yeah, okay.
For the film. I think there was 1,000 of them, and each one had a scene from the film and a little descriptive text. And I got I think I got to 997. There were 3 really fantastically rare ones that I could never find.
So was the Dark Forest one? Did you have that?
Oh yeah. I'm pretty certain I had that. That's one of my favorite. You see, the reason I like my fondness for the original Batman, that were not the original Batman film, with Adam West and the TNT Shark. My fondness for that film has grown because it has something that as good as the Bale, the Nolan Batman films are, the mystery. There's that song from the cave entrance scene is called Descent into Mystery, and that's what that film has. It's Batman's a mysterious, even though he's Bruce Wayne and it's a slightly bumbling, kind of naive seeming guy.
Yeah.
There's a mystery to how it's all played. It's played
really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, basically, Bale just jumps at people and yells in their face repeatedly.
Asks where she is.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I do enjoy them, but Batman's he's a much more
he's a nuanced character.
Yeah, in the film, he's obviously got a sad past. In certain aspect, he's an almost he's been broken by his childhood, the terrible trauma, but he's really risen above it. Whereas Bale's Batman, he comes across a lot more broken psychologically to me.
He's very thuggish, really.
I'm gonna. It's just 2 hours of that, but I do love those films. I think they're fantastic. And there's a breath of fresh air after the absolute ridiculousness that the previous series of films descended.
Oh, come on. So clearly, Batman and Robin is the best of everyone.
Bat nipples.
I too carry a Batman credit card.
No. Oh. Well, we'll all have to hold our breath and see how Ben Affleck brings what he brings to the role, and hopefully it's not Daredevil.
Oh my God, no!
Oh, no. I feel dirty just mentioning the name.
It gets worse as well. I mean, you got Batman versus Superman coming as well.
Yeah, which is a comic staple, but
I don't think it's
I don't know. They're gonna have to.
Well.
They're gonna have to knock it out of the park to convince me.
I have absolutely no faith in DC to produce good DC Universe videos. Absolutely none.
They really need to take a leaf out of Marvel's book. Because they really have become more of a... I don't know, I think the average person in the street associates them with the films rather than the comics, and they're a comic book.
Well, definitely, certainly here in the UK, for sure.
Yeah, I can't talk for across seas in foreign parts, but...
you foreign people.
How are your parts? But Marvel, I mean, they do better than DC, let's face it, and on average, I think. Certainly, I don't know. There's been some stinking films.
Well, at least Marvel can always say, at least we didn't release Green Lantern.
That's true.
And then that's it. You can't really...
So, game. Argument over.
Drops the mic, walks away.
Yes.
All right. To sort of bring this back on track.
Oh, yeah. Minecraft. Yeah, we play Minecraft, don't we?
Really?
Yeah.
What a surprise. Over a year ago now. Wow. I'm trying to find... Where is the actual first one? I have this written down here. It was... You called your video... Feed the what?
Yes.
And that's December 2012, that is.
Oh my goodness.
That's how long you've been on Hypermine. December 18th, your first video release.
Crazy.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah.
We'll be coming up on 2 years that you've been on Hypermine soon.
Oh. And, I didn't even want to play modded Minecraft until literally a week or two before, when I secretly started I couldn't fathom it. It's like this modded Minecraft business. All these machines and no.
There's too much stuff there. Yeah.
Stick with vanilla. I think that's where the core of Minecraft is, and I'm completely not copying Etho. But basically I downloaded FTB and I started playing. God, what was the pack back then? Unlimited? No, Ultimate.
Ultimate.
No, not Ultimate. It was before Ultimate.
Oh,
something.
It was some.
FTB,
yeah. It was something.
FTB Quarry Manager 2013.
Yes.
I called it, because all I seemed to do was manage the power to my quarry, because I never had enough to keep going, and watermills were a bunch of rubbish.
Oh my god, you used watermills?
Well, I used lots of different power sources. I didn't really know what I was doing. I knew that watermills were passive power, and that sounded good to me.